The Gentleman Style Show.
Question. What is the cost associated with starting your own brand?
That's a great question. I would say a good starting number comfortable starting number, I would say at least have 50 in capital. 50 grand in capital. Yeah, to start.
How is
it
that
depends.
allocated?
Well, it depends on the winery you work with and the deal you work out. And whether they want you to buy small quantities or if they want you to buy larger quantities and pallets. But then if it's larger quantities and pallets, you got to also sell that to your distribution team as well.
Okay, so you have to
they got to be able
you
to
have to buy a bulk amount of product in order to even get in with these
Yeah, you don't want to run out of product.
Right.
See, what you want to do is get with somebody that's going to mass produce your product and produce it in a timely fashion. So, some people I know that are in this industry run out of product and then they have to wait months and months for it to get back, and then people forget about it.
How do you vet that?
You ask those questions.
But how do you trust them? They could tell you whatever.
What, for production?
Right. How do you vet that they're a reliable source for its production? How do you make sure that these are good people?
I think you go off of you interview them just like a job interview, and you do your research. You do your research. The winery that I work with, they produce other wines as well. So, and they produce some other wines that are higher end and some that are lower end and some great wines. However, it's constant production and then it's in the agreement. So.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if there was like some type of other resource, or is there a group that you could point to do you go talk to other people and say, hey, yeah, this is a good reference for dealing with this particular distillery?
No, I don't have anything like that. I never did. It was all about self and working with a broker to figure out who was going to be the perfect match for what I wanted to do and what I needed to do.
Now, what position does the broker play in this? So what does the broker do for you?
The broker is almost like real estate in a sense, but the broker, is the middleman for the winery, but also, and my fighter for the winery, but is also my fighter when it comes to distribution. So the broker helps me broker my deals when I get distribution, because in each state I gotta have distribution. So the broker helps with that. They help with level setting pricing and things like that, and just online fulfillment and things like that.
How are they compensated?
They off sales commission. They're strictly commission
100%.
based.
Okay.
Yep. So
Good to know. So the broker, do they bring you I guess several different distributors, or they key in on the distributor that they think matches best with you?
they try to find what best matches with the brand, but they will help with whatever. My broker, however, he's wonderful, helps with, because when I get something in my head, he's just like, here we go. The story of my life. Whenever I say, hey guys, I got an idea, everybody's like, all right, let's brace ourselves, because they know, but he's really good. He may try to talk me off the ledge, and I'm just like, well, let me just see. Let me just see.
Right, let's just see what it tastes
Yeah.
like. Let's pour it in here.
Would you stop
and just-
it? It's not a good idea. Just stop. It's not a good idea. With each state-to-state distribution, are there any, or have you found there to be certain states that are more, more of a headache than others in terms of trying to get your distribution to move into those particular markets?
How many states are you in?
Well, currently, right now, I'm only in Georgia. However, first quarter next year, we will be in other states.
Okay, now go.
Yeah.
What you said.
North Carolina is probably going to be one of the hardest. North Carolina, I think it's North Carolina, Virginia, and South Carolina, because they have ABC stores.
And they're ran
And
by
it's so government. So
Are you also, because I know you talked about restaurants, in terms of moving into restaurants, how do restaurants even pick their wines? I mean, how does that?
they usually have a
Sommelier?
person, a sommelier, or they have somebody who's educated in wine to help pick. It depends on the level of the restaurant, right? So there are some restaurants that'll just be like, hey, we want to have it because it looks good, or we tasted it, it's great. Most of the time for me, how it worked in Atlanta was I like to go out to eat. So I started going to some of the restaurants that I like to eat at, and if I felt like the food was good, the service was good, then I'd be like, hey, you want to, taste this wine? I have my own wine. And they would be like, yeah, schedule a tasting. We go by there. I talk to them about what I do and how when people purchase a bottle, and give back to local cancer organizations and things like that. And
I didn't know that.
it just, yeah. So for every bottle that's purchased, we give back, and in Georgia, it's Loving Arms Cancer Outreach.
Oh.
And they help men, women, and children who need help with co-pays, medical bills, lights, groceries, and things like that. So we want to be able to provide that in every state. We want to find an organization that kind of models that same mission that Loving Arms has, and give back.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I was just saying I didn't know that each purchase.
Yeah, we give a portion of our sales. Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yep.
That's very nice.
But yeah, so the restaurant thing is easy. I go eat. If I like it, I might say something. It used to be I could pop off and name all the restaurants in Atlanta I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's funny because a few weeks ago I went to, I think it's called Atkins Park over in Smyrna. It's close to my house. And I'm sitting in there, and this guy's sitting at the bar talking, and I was like, didn't we meet before? He was like, yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, we met at Stony River. He's like, you're the one that owns the wine. I was like, yeah. And then the girl behind the bar was like, what wine do you own? And I was like, oh, I'm the owner of the Random Whine. And she says, really? And she pointed, and there's my wine sitting on their shelf. I didn't even notice it. And on the tables, they have these fold-out menus with my picture and the wine. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even know.
Wow.
Like, so
Why?
it's pretty
Why did they
neat.
have it to that degree? Why?
Because it was Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and they were featuring the wine for the whole thing. Like, I've gone in stores, in some of the stores, like it's one in World of Beverage in Alpharetta, and I just walked in. Sometimes I walk in just to test out and just see, like, how's it doing on the shelf or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's this big poster, and I'm like, I didn't even know that. Like, so I like when that happens, because I'm like I don't ever think about it.
I could just tell the excitement, and you just.
Because I never think about it. Like, before, I used to rattle it off. Oh, we're in this store, this store, this store, this restaurant, this restaurant, this one. Now, I don't keep up with that. I can't, because it's too many to name. And when people ask me, I go, look, I can't tell you. You just have to look it up or ask. Like,
yourself on the back.
And now that we're at Target, and I probably got on those people's nerves at Target. I was
How did that come about, the Target deal?
I literally started contacting them. I found out who I needed to reach and started contacting them on a regular
What's the
basis.
type of person that you have to reach out to? Is that a particular?
It's in corporate. It's all corporate. I guess they're called the wine buyer. I don't even know the person's title.
Oh, okay.
Once I got their name, that's all I cared about.
Oh, okay. So it is an individual. It's not like a department or anything like that. It's an individual.
It's not just. It is a department. It's because I remember scheduling a Zoom meeting with them to give them a presentation on my thoughts on why they should pick up this wine. And I remember doing it wrong, because my broker, Chris, was like, you just asked them to buy your whole brand. And I said, is that what I asked them to do? So when I had the Zoom, I said, let's be clear, I'm not trying to sell you my brand. I want you to put my bottles in your store. I want to get on the shelf. I want shelf space. So it ended up working out, and I think it's been a great, Target is good about helping minority businesses. They are exceptionally good at that.
Because isn't that where the Tabitha?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think she paved the way for a lot of us.
Is that right?
Her, and I can't think of the other lady's name, but there's another black lady that has her stuff in there. But I can't, her name escapes me, and I'm so sorry. But yeah, so it's great because they gave me that, and now we just talked to the store that's going to do an end cap, which is they want to put bottles on the end and put that poster up, and it's like, oh wow, so I'm about to go into a Target, and even if it's one, I want to go into that Target.
This is a totally selfish question, because just for my knowledge on that, So, like at Target, for example, are they separated into like? Because I asked you, was it just one person that you need to contact, or was it an apartment? You said it is an apartment. So, are they for the different items? Are there different departments, or is it like a buying department to get your stuff in the store? Is that one funnel, or is it like multiple avenues that you may have to find the right?
I'm sure that they had to, and I don't know the real answer, but I'll say I'm for certain that they had to. Corporate talks to the individual stores to make sure they have the room and want to take the product, and because we're not in every Target, but it depends on who had shelf space, who had because they do this thing called resets. And so the resets means that's when new stuff gets to come on board, and they do these resets every so often. So it just depends on,
How do you find that out? Is that like internal information, or is that?
It is internal. It's not anything that the public, I can find it out through my distributor.
Right.
Because they work with.
Figure out the best time to approach them doing.
No, I'm going to always approach them.
Oh,
I approach,
regardless.
let me tell you.
Okay, I see.
When I tell you, I've probably been approaching Publix, Kroger, Trader Joe's, all of them, Whole Foods on a regular. Like, they hear from me. Like, I call myself. Like, the bigger ones, like, I tell my distributor, like, hold tight. I'll work on that. You just keep doing what you're doing. I'll work on it. And then once I get the deal, like, but I'm a salesperson. Like,
So
that's
what are you
good.
doing?
I
Are you
believe in my
emailing?
product.
Are you
I will
messaging
email.
them?
I
Are
will
you
show up
on
in your
Facebook on a
office.
page? What are you doing?
No, I'm not on anybody's Facebook. I'm not Facebook stalking. I'm not good at the social media stalking. But I will email you. I will call your office. I will schedule time in your office and show up. All of that. So I
You
believe
would
in.
literally go to the office and sit.
Oh yeah, I'll go
Is this the corporate office or the actual?
No, the corporate.
manager?
No, I'm not talking about the store.
Okay.
I'm not going to the Publix on, Cobb Parkway and saying, I don't even think there's a Publix on Cobb Parkway. But if it was, I'm just not walking in there like. But now I might find my information out from one of the stores. Like, that's how I find out about the whole process for Trader Joe's. I just went into one of the Trader Joe's and started asking questions. And they were like, oh, this is what you need to do. This is who you need to contact at corporate.
Oh, so they just told you.
Yeah.
This is where you need to go. That's one way about. What about Costco and Sam's Club?
I haven't ventured off into them yet because I have my targeted list for myself that I want.
Right.
And that's for some other reasons that I probably don't want to say on camera because I never want them to turn me down if I say it.
Don't say it.
So.
It's all good.
Designs by Ronibus Stone.
Raised by Baldwin Creek the brand.
Available at baldwincreech.com.
However, I'm strategic about where I want to go and, I'm picky. Because there are places that wanted me that I have turned down.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you say why?
I can say why,
Say,
but
just
I'll,
say
yeah.
why. Why would you turn?
I may not believe in some things that they believe in, or maybe that restaurant I've gone to and they've been rude to,
Gotcha.
our people, and I have issues like that.
Right.
Or maybe they were rude to my team
Right.
for coming in there. And, so I do my research. It's just not to go somewhere and be in there just because.
Right.
It's got to represent me as well.
So I don't normally do this, but you said this several times. Is there any specific people or the whole team that you'd like to shout out? Because I think people build their brand and their things, and they have these great teams. And
Yeah.
sometimes the people and the team, they just become team, but they're intricate to what they do. So if you would like to shout out your team individually, feel free. If you don't want to because you schedule forget somebody, that's fine too. But it's your choice if you like.
Well, of course, D-Lay, my business partner, who's also a comedian. So he's wonderful and has been really helpful. And his wife, Lisa. So D-Lay and Lisa Laird. The infamous and the best project manager, assistant, whatever you want to call her, my ride or die, Winter Jade. Love her, could not. She's been with me in the trenches since the beginning. And we've gone through some hills and valleys. And then she is my superstar. So we have Brady Henderson, who's been doing PR for us for a while. And I love me some Brady. He gets me all those news interviews and all those other interviews that I'm bugging for. I'm like, can you get me next to Michael Strahan? That's where I need to be, okay? Right beside him. And we have other folks too, like Brian Keith of BK Productions. He's been our events coordinator, and he's done a lot for us in that aspect. Carrie Austin Hare is part of my team, and that's probably a good interview for you guys to do as well. She's built $1 million industry in the hair game. Like, it is amazing how she has grown. And she's been doing my hair for about 4 years now and just looking out for me in ways that are unbelievable. And the thing I love about the folks that I've named is that I have gone through a lot. And Vita Nichelle, she is, I'm going to call her friend, stylist, hair, everything. She just everything. Her and Carmen. These folks have been there like family. So even with me going through a divorce during the time when my business is at its peak, right? So I'm at the peak of my business, and I find out some devastating news, and my marriage goes to pot. They've still been right there. What can we do? How can we help? We want to look out. We want to, and it's been great. I couldn't do it without them. And, my IT guy, Mitch, they take on responsibilities that they don't even have to. And, nobody's ever like, well, I'm not supposed to do that, or I shouldn't do that, or why are you making me do that? They all want to see it win. And I think it's because I literally want to be good to everybody. And one of the things with my Let's Whine About It and my social page, and you'll hear me say a lot, it's my personal mantra is love is my legacy. My legacy is love. I've been through a lot. And when you've almost touch the hem of death, you realize what's really important in life. And one of the things I aspire is to love. I'll never be able to love like God loves, because as a human, we all have conditional love, right? However, I want to leave people feeling like I love them. I don't want to be the person that somebody's like, oh, she was rude to me. Like, I'm not like that. Like, I don't want to be like that. Now, does it cause me a lot of pain? Yeah, because other people don't treat me that way. However, it's okay, because I'll leave this earth knowing that that's the legacy I leave behind. Right. Is she was a person of love. And the rotating hearts is something I use very often, that emoji. And I have it tattooed on me for that reason, because my heart is rotating daily and giving love to others out there. And that's my belief.
I knew there was a reason why I wanted you to do this show. That was it. No, seriously. I mean, sometimes when you see people, you see them for the business, or you see them for the things that they do, but life goes beyond that, right? So no matter what you do, or what your job is, or what your career is, or what you're doing, it's the other thing that drives that. So you can have a great business but be the worst person in the world. Like, nobody really wants to do business with you, but you're successful, so they want to do business with the brand. But it's always nice to be able to see someone that not only has the brand, but they also have the heart to go with the brand. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you. And I'm a firm believer that a lot of stores and restaurants that actually take on the brand, I think they do it because of who I am as a person and what I believe in. Because it's never any pressure. Like, I'm not pressuring. I mean, I'll call and bug the heck out of you all day long. But I do it in a kind and sweet way. Like, you know, but it's definitely where I want to leave things and how I want to leave this earth. So when people talk about me, that's what I care about.
Well, you know, I was on the way to, I was taking my daughter to school this morning, and some mornings I had to pick up her friends too. So it's like three of them, three girls, they're in the car, and you know, they chit chatting and everything. But this morning, I had them listening to this motivational speaker, and the whole conversation was about productivity. And he made an analogy about a tree. And what do you see a tree? You see a tree, what, growing up out of the ground, you know, toward the sky. You know, it takes in sunlight, gives off carbon dioxide and all of this, right? But they said the part that you don't see is the roots. A tree only can grow as high as the roots grow deep in the ground. So in order to get to where you need to be, from a sustainable and historic basis and everything, you have to have deep roots. And I think what you do and the story that you just laid out to us, and you just mentioned you think this is why the restaurants, you know, carry your product.
Right.
Your roots are deep. You're not just high and going up this way. You grew deep this way.
Thank you.
So it means a lot. And
I've come a long
that.
way. Thank
I
you.
appreciate that.
I've come a long way from who I used to be 30 years ago.
I would hope so. I mean, that's
16 to 35. 16 to 35. Is that right? Okay, I'm just saying.
16 to 35.
16 to 35.
that's the hope that we all have come further.
Absolutely.
You know, and grown and learn from some different things and give back at the same time. I think that's a piece that people don't realize. Even when you grow
Right.
out of something, it's always nice to be able to let people not necessarily know all your business, but to let them know, yeah, I've been through some things, and what you're doing, probably don't want to do that. So that's giving back without having to tell you everything and tell you all my business. But I think that's a great thing as well.
And I want to say one more thing, because I think we're good. We got
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I think we're over an hour, almost an hour and a half now. Earlier, before we came and sat down and started talking on camera, when I first met you, I told you a whole bunch of stuff about me. And I just want to explain to you, I wanted to wait till now to tell you why
Okay.
I do that. The reason why I do that is we meet people, but we don't really know people. We meet people, we might say hi, and then you're trying to just talk to them or whatnot like that. And I said, I'm gonna start telling people a few things about myself before.
The people don't know you told me you wore a size 10 shoe. Like I was going to bring you a pair of sneaks up here.
I had no idea what y'all conversation was like when I walked in. So I was.
That was the most confusing thing. I was like, okay, like.
Yeah. I mean, it's just information.
But I handled it well, right?
You did,
I did.
you handled it well.
Okay, all right.
It's just information because we don't really know each other. So
You're
I'm
right.
just gonna tell you some stuff about me and everything. Now you know something about me.
That's
You know,
great.
it's not just
and that's the
random.
one thing I can't shake because it was like,
Random.
why did he tell me that? But it's great,
Right.
and that's a good concept and
Yeah.
a good way to be. I think everyone should lead with that.
Right. Well, leave with the 10. or
Not
lead
your
with-
shoe size. However, just tell people about yourself.
But it's been a great conversation.
Thank you.
got
I had
anything?
fun.
You got anything else?
I did until you said that crazy mess about the size 10. And
Aw.
it's gone.
What you got?
I
Say
don't
it.
even know. I know what it was. I always like the new thing that I've tried to do with our guests is whether you're in music, whether you're, I don't care what you do, but if you were a singer or rapper, who would be your top 3 collaborations you would want to collaborate with?
Oh.
Yeah.
Top 3 I want to collaborate with.
You want a top 5? Top 3, top 5. I'll give you either one. It's up to you.
Okay. I'm going to take the 5.
Okay.
Whitney Houston,
All right.
Tina Marie, Jay-Z,
Okay.
Tupac. That 5th one is the struggle because Prince.
The force is strong with you.
That's my 5.
That is it. All
And not in that order, but yeah.
Exactly.
So
Not to be in sequential order, but yeah, that's a list.
Well, do one more thing for
you want
us.
me to sing?
You can sing.
No, I love karaoke. you know it's on my bucket list. If you watch my one of my videos, I talk about bucket lists, and on my bucket list is to be a one-hit wonder.
That would be dope.
Yeah.
I want to do
That would be dope.
I want to be a
really
one-hit
nice.
wonder. That's it. I want to perform one song, and I want to get off the stage and go.
That would be.
That's
that would be
it.
something
I
else.
just want to make one hit that's like the #1 song in the world, and I'm never gonna make another song again.
That's all you need. You don't need anything else.
Well, you have to make at least several songs to get that one, but I just wanted to recreate another song and just like do
I
it.
just want to make one single that everybody loves. I'm never gonna make another song. That's it. I'm gonna walk off.
So
That's your camera right there.
that's my camera.
If you want to leave any type of departing information, where they can find you, your locations of your product, words of wisdom, that's your camera. Do it in now.
Doing it now when he's giving me a time frame. He was. I'm Kay Jackson with The Random Whine. You can find me online at therandomwhine.com. All social media handles are at The Random Whine. Remember, it's wine with an H, WHINE. And if you ever want to remember anything about Kay Jackson, it is love is my legacy. My legacy is love. I'm sending you love and light with hugs and kisses. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Wonderfully done.
That's
Wonderfully done.
awesome.
All right, do what you
We're
do.
good. Hey, here at the Gentleman of Style Show, we have a saying: there is no excuse for good taste. Because here at the Gentleman of Style Show, we believe in better.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Thanks. That was great. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm gonna finish this off.
Gentleman of Style Show.
National Accident.